As we saw yesterday, what one wants is forever. How long does one want forever? Forever. I don't want, I don't want something, I don't want movie, I want forever. Even marriage people don't want. That's why in the fifth wedding vow they say what? This time it is forever. What about the other 4 times? Shh, let's not talk about that. And you tell, somebody tells, oh, my son, my daughter got a job. What does the other parent say? Is it permanent? That's what they want. It's not about the job, it's about the permanence that one seeks. Then another example. Then the other question comes, how is your house? Do you own your house? No, I rent it. Or even if you own it, actually you're renting it from the bank, okay? Yeah. Bank has all the papers. But still, is it your own? Is it permanent? Is it forever? This shows that what one wants is not the thing itself, but the forever. That forever is known as Ananta, and translated as human desire, it is known as Ananda, the joy that comes out of this forever. And this is what one wants. And this is how Lord Rama must be seen. And then, as the story goes, Rama is sitting right there. And then Rama says something which is very interesting. Rama says, okay, I'll take it from here. Sita, I will take it from here. And then he says, this consciousness is seen in many different ways. And I want you to see this consciousness free and space-like, he says, but in 2 or 3 different ways. And he takes the example of space and talks about it in some ways which makes it easier for us to understand in terms of what this example is trying to show. So the first way, he says, is like looking at the sky, Akasha. You look at the space and what do you see? A vast expanse of undifferentiated space. Then you look at the sky, but this time through a lake. You look down, you don't look up. You look down, and then what do you see in the lake? You see the reflection of the sky. Then you keep a pot of water, and then you gaze in the water, then you find a small little sky in the water. So first you have the sky which has no bounds, and the sky that is as though bounded by the paridhi, the limits, the so-called limits of the lake. And then you find the third example of the sky which is reflected in a pot of water. So the unbound sky is Shuddha Chaitanya, consciousness unconditioned by anything else at all. And the sky obtaining in the lake is what? Is exactly how the Jagat is reflected in this Satchidananda. You have the variegated Jagat, and you can look at the reflection of the sky in the lake, and you can also count the clouds and everything like that. And what is this? This is the Jagat, which is nothing but a manifestation of Satchidanandam Brahma, which is all Rama alone. So these are the various iterations of Rama that the author would like us to know. The author is Veda Vyasa according to some, and then it appears in the Purana, Brahmananda Purana and Brahmanda Purana. But then the author is also supposed to be, it is also ascribed to one Ramananda, a medieval saint. So we really don't know the authorship. So then the third one, the pot of water, is the Abhasa. Chidabhasa, is so just like we usually take the example of the sun being reflected in the pot of water, but here the sky itself, a piece of the sky is reflected in the pot of water, and so that is called Chidabhasa. This is the so-called association, as though association of this Chit with the Buddhi. Chit avachinna Chaitanya. So this Chit, the Deha avachinna Chaitanya. So this Chit, which is as though obtaining in the Buddhi. So the Buddhi, being a clear source of reflection, is able to take the brightness, the light and the knowledge, etc., the light portion, the existence portion and the knowledge portion of the Chit, and broadcast it and use it in the everyday life to make various assumptions, transactions, etc., etc., etc. So then this is this is how to understand that. And then Parvati says, this is interesting, but I am still confused. Why are you confused? I am confused, she says, because then if everything is Rama, 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 then the Satchidananda is Rama, and then Chidakasha is Rama, and then Chit is Rama, and the Chit obtaining in the Buddhi is also what? Rama. Then why is the Jiva all twisted up? Why is the Jiva not following Dharma? Why is the Jiva not godly? Why does the Jiva behave oddly? And because that's what happens if one is not godly. So then, why is this discrepancy there? And then Rama says that the whole world is asleep. The entire world is asleep. All the beings are asleep in the addictive sleep of Atma Avidya. In the terrible sleep of Atma Avidya, it is like a Kumbhakarna sleep. See, that is what that also symbolizes. Kumbhakarna means what? He cannot wake up. Meaning, even if you prop him with the help of the Mahavakyas, Tattvamasi, etc., still he will go off to sleep. No desire to learn, nothing. So the Jiva is Anadi Avidya Suttaha Jiva. The Jiva is the one that has been marinating in the sleep of Avidya, dormancy, tamas, for a very, very long time. In fact, there is no beginning to this Avidya. So this fellow is forever asleep to her own nature. There is no nature at all that is to which the person is awakened, and so therefore, because of being asleep to one's own nature, the one is therefore awakened to what? One's non-nature. Both these things are there. One is asleep to one's nature, agrahanam, and therefore what takes place is anyatha grahanam, not grasping the truth of myself is one problem, and then grasping what I am not, taking myself to be what I am not, that's the second problem. In animals, there's only one problem. What is that problem? The dog doesn't know I am God. Simple. Dog doesn't know Vedanta. Dog doesn't know there is a text called a highly erudite text called Saddarshanam. Dog doesn't know there is Adhyatma Rama. Dog doesn't know anything. And if you let the dog be, it is actually quite happy. So agrahanam or simple avidya does not cause sorrow. But if somebody comes and says, no, my dog is unhappy, my dog is depressed, you know what? Ask them, how long has the dog been with you? Ask them that. Okay, now it explains. Dog is not depressed. Cat is not depressed. So, but then, what is the difference between the dog and the human being? The dog simply doesn't know its own nature. Not knowing its own nature, it is not upset. It seems to be fine. When I don't know what I don't know, ignorance is bliss. Okay? So the animals live because they are programmed by Ishvara. They live in the world of Ishvara without questioning this world. Why am I dog? Why am I not this one? Why am I not that one? And there is no going against that. But in the human being, the ajnanam has two iterations. One is I don't know myself, and since there is total free will, I take myself to be what I am not. The will is totally free. And so, since there is total self consciousness, I take myself to be what I am not. Which is what? I am an idiot, nobody loves me, I don't care, I don't want, I am not happy, all these things. So therefore, this is exactly the problem. The problem is one of not only not knowing myself, which is part A of Atma Ajnanam, but taking myself to be what I am not, which is part B. Therefore, there is suffering, therefore, there is pain, therefore, there is samsara. This is what Rama says. They don't understand who I am. Then Sita pipes in and Sita says what? In fact, they don't even understand that I am your power. They think that you have done everything, O Rama, but actually it is me who is doing everything. The doer, the mover, the shaker is the Shakti, and the one who is stationary is you, the non-doer, the non-mover, the non-shaker, but in whose presence all movement, all moving, all shaking, and everything is happening. This is a very beautiful section. Very lovely section where both of first she becomes the teacher of Brahma Vidya, because why does she have to start teaching? Because Brahma Vidya, Brahman cannot objectify itself. So therefore the teacher comes and teaches, very nice, and then he comes in the form of an avatara, the one who is to be worshipped, and then continues the teaching. We find a similar thing in the Kenopanishad, where the Yaksha comes in the assembly of Bhagavans, where various deities, Agni, Indra, Vayu, etc. And then the Yaksha gate crashes the party because they are not acknowledging Bhagavan. They say what? Asmakameva Vijayaha, Asmakameva Mahima iti. This is our glory and then our victory. And Yaksha says, I beg to differ. Yaksha is Brahman. But nobody is able to find out who it is. And then finally, at least with Agni and Vayu, there is some interaction. And then when Indra approaches, the Yaksha disappears. And then right there, he meditates, and a beautiful, resplendent goddess comes and teaches Brahma Vidya. Because it is that which cannot be objectified. It is you yourself. This is how this is why goddess Sita is the teacher in the beginning. After that, Rama, as Ishtadevata, joins and talks about his transcendental nature as Satchidanandam Brahma, and then. So this is the synopsis of the whole thing. Then you get then there are some smaller details which we don't have the time to go into, like how the association of the identification with the body, rather than the identification with the chit, with Sat Chit. Instead, what do? I associate it with the body, I identify with the mind, I identify with the senses, and what is born is Jivatvam. Jiva is not born. And this Jivatvam means what? Jivaness, Jivahood is born, and this Jivahood is what? It's not even born, it is there, but this is how it comes to be, it is shown. And then this Jivahood is a superimposition upon that which is free, upon that Satchidananda, which is free of Jivahood. And what about Ishvarahood? Ishvara is needed to keep the Jagat in tow. Having created the Jagat, somebody has to look after it. You can't just leave the Jagat to be babysat by all the jivas. There'll be chaos. So somebody has to make them follow the laws. Somebody has to do that. And so this is what is called, this is the same Satchidananda doing this job as it were, is called, is this phenomena is called Ishvaratvam. So we have Ishvarahood on one side, Jivahood on the other side. If you remove the hood, what do you see? Satchidananda. One is called creator, one is called misery, and then really what? Both of them are the shining self. That's all they are. The shining, self-evident self. The same thing is expressed in Panchadashi. So it's like the Maya, the Shakti is the seamstress. Seamstress means she causes stress, okay? Yeah. And so what is this seamstress? What does she do? She these things, she says that she creates a beautiful cape, a glorious cape made of velvet, made of gold embroidery, and for the borders there are stars and planets and galaxies. And Ishvara, this Satchidanandam Brahma wears that and has got the epithet Ishvara, wears a crown. When Jiva goes and says, what about my cape? I also want a cape. Okay, tell me, give me your measurements, I'm small. Tell me something about yourself, because I need to make this cape to fit you and your description. Nobody loves me. I'm always poor. I'm always wanting. I am an idiot. And so the cape is lined with tears and fears, made of tattered quilt. And then, Ishvara has a crown, Jiva has what? A dunce cap, fool's cap. Okay? This is because of our association with Atma Ajnana. So when you remove the costumes, what is there is the self-shining self. It's like, in other words, the same child coming dressed in different costumes at the door on Halloween to get 3 times candy. This is what it is. When you remove the mask, it's the same child. And so this is in short the Ramayana. Adhyatma Ramayana, many such beautiful things are presented. There is a lot of stuti. Stuti means there is a lot of praise of this vidya, of this understanding. And what is the result of this understanding, and how samsara gets a big kick and samsara does not come back. All this is given. But then, when we look at the whole Ramayana, it really lends itself to self-knowledge completely. Because there is this beautiful song which is inspired by the Adhyatma Ramayana. Khelati mama hridaye. Ramaha khelati mama hridaye. This Rama plays in my heart. Oh, he really is playing in my heart. And what is this Rama? Atma Rama. Atma Rama. The Atma which is Rama. The word Rama, grammatically if you take, it is nothing but self-knowledge. Ramante yasmin yoginaha. The yogis revel in which? That is Rama. What do the yogis revel in? Atma. Oneself. So Ram, not R-U-M, okay? Yeah, please. This is an ashram, okay? Which also unfortunately ends in Ram. Okay, never mind. So then Ram, to revel. Sanskrit Ram, to revel. And so this revelry is, one can only revel in something which is a source of joy. Can you revel in a sad sob story? No. You want to get away from it. You can only revel in that which is a source of joy. And so the only source of joy, the true source of joy is what? Your own self. So therefore, Atma Rama, that is the word Rama, the name Rama, is the meaning of reveling in the truth of oneself. That is what it is. And then the song goes, okay, so this Rama is playing in my heart. Shanti Shanti Videha Suta Sahajari. So, Videha Suta, the daughter of Videha, because that was the kingdom from where she came. That's why she's called Vaidehi. But Videha also means she who is without a body. Very interesting. Vaidehi means she who doesn't have a body. Why does she not have a body? See, we come back to the shadow Sita. She doesn't have a body because she's all pervasive. She's all knowledge. She's all Shakti. She doesn't need a body. So, but she's the embodiment of Shanti. Shanti means what? Tranquility. That tranquility is, in fact, people talk of this tranquility in various ways. Some people call it peace, some people call it happiness, some people call it absence of disturbance. But really it is that tranquility, peace of mind. This peace of mind is highly valued, and that is exactly what one wants. What one wants is this peace of mind, and this peace of mind, being very highly valued, is sought after by everybody. So therefore, Sita is sought after by who? Ravana, the one who has not only no peace of mind but 10 heads, full of ego, unable to make a decision. Even with one head, how quickly can you make a decision? Tell me. Be truthful here, yeah. Even one hand is difficult to manage. Imagine 5 this side, 4 this side. Highly inconvenient. How to go through doors? First of all, that is a big problem. And full of indecision, full of wrong and conflicting ideas. Some wants to go along with dharma, some wants to go away from dharma, all these. So this conflict is seeking Sita. But who does Sita belong to? Rama. What does that mean? If Rama is self-knowledge, Sita is the product or the prasada of self-knowledge, and Sita, being the prasada of self-knowledge, belongs with Rama. Because it's the outcome of self-knowledge. Without self-knowledge, you cannot have it. That's why she can never be Ravana's, despite Ravana Sita Park. Okay? She can never belong to Ravana. She is only the Sahachari, means she walks along with the one who is committed to self-knowledge. She, in the form of peace, tranquility, Ananda, etc. The quiet part of Ananda is Shanti, and that is this Sita. And so then, so Rama means self-knowledge. The pursuer of self-knowledge always has by her side, his side, what? Tranquility and joy. So Dahara Ayodhya Nagara Vihari. Ayodhya means what? The unconquerable one. That which can never be conquered. This is why Rama is dear to the heart of the Indians. Not because of some story, but because of what this really represents, is the self-knowledge. That's why it is dear. So Ayodhya, inconquerable. What is that? The self cannot be conquered. That is where it is. That is the place. That is the place of abidance of Rama and Sita together, because that self centered on that self which is inconquerable. And then, who is this Rama? Moha Mahamaya Tarakakari. So Tarakasura and all these things that were killed by him were in the form of Moha, Maya, delusion, and all kinds of distractions. Even Ravana is a big delusion and a huge distraction, waste of time. And then Ragadvesha Mukhasura Mari. The one who kills these asuras. Who are these asuras? My own untrained ragas and dveshas. My own untrained ragas and dveshas are these various asuras, these rakshasas that run amok and hijack my pursuit. They hijack my pursuit. I want to go here. I want to go on the path of self knowledge. I want to go on, therefore, I want to walk on the path of dharma. Where do they take me? To adharma. They take me elsewhere. And so this is this is very, very beautiful. So now, what happens if Shanti is kidnapped? This is the beauty of it. Very interesting. Shanti gets abducted by what? By the 10-headed monster. Who is the 10-headed monster? Ravana. But what does Ravana symbolize? Confusion, delusion, born of Atma Ajnanam, of course, Raga, Dvesha, because Ravana actually had a very good home training. He was a Brahmana, he knew the Samaveda, he was a great musician, he was a great devotee. But somewhere hubris set in and he wants world domination. I don't know why all these Rakshasas want world domination. The world is going to dogs, but they want to dominate this world. Huge waste of time. And not being satisfied with himself wanting a boon, he drags this Kumbhakarna, who is the incarnation of Tamas, in front of Lord Shiva and says, okay, he will give two boons, one for you, one for me. And Kumbhakarna says, I don't want any boon. Who is this Shiva? And he says, no. Shiva can give you. Ask for Nitya. Nitya means forever. And that fellow has no desire to ask for anything. He says, Nidra. Means sleep. And he's a big fellow. And suddenly he just becomes a little like a hillock. And Ravana is very cross with Lord Shiva. He says, look what you have done. How am I going to take him home now? I have to carry this mountain back all the way. What have you done? Now, take that back, because he didn't mean to ask that. And Shiva says, no, once it is taken, once it is given, it cannot be taken back. What can I do? You can use the boon that you have. See how clever Shiva is? To neutralize some of the effect of his boon so that at least he can walk home with you. So then he says, okay, all right. He's very cross with him because both of them lost their boons due to aviveka, due to lack of vairagya. No vairagya, no viveka. And then so he says, okay, 6 months on and 6 months off, like a bear. And so he woke up and then he quickly took him back to Sri Lanka in time for his long nap. This is exactly how it is. And then we see that when the Shanti is abducted by confusion, delusion and distraction, and the service and a mind that is in the service of ragadveshas. And self-knowledge without Shanti is incomplete. That's why Rama cries, goes from tree to tree and has to get the Sita back. Sita has to come back and tranquility has to be restored. Otherwise, the story is not complete. That's why the Uttara Ramayana is an interpolation, because once the Shanti is restored, why will she be banished to the forest? Makes no sense at all. So then the battles rage, and then even for Hanumanji there is a nice metaphor. Hanumanji is first a Vanara, jumps from tree to tree. But what kind of a Vanara? A Vanara who is a Bhakta. Meaning, even the Hanumanji represents the monkey mind, which jumps up and down and all around. It represents the monkey mind, but the monkey mind is trained by japa, Rama, 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 by bhakti. That bhakti becomes the gateway to mukti indirectly. Bhakti becomes the gateway to knowledge, which is a direct gateway to mukti or freedom, and this is exactly what the Vanara symbolizes. They symbolize service, a life of service, karma yoga, and bhakti. They symbolize the means to come out of this conundrum, this ocean of samsara, which now, speaking of oceans, Hanumanji has to cross. It is a leap of faith. That is exactly what it is. It's a leap of faith. And so this crossing is the ocean of samsara, because the ocean of samsara has all kinds of terrible darkinies and demons and demonesses and all these things there. He is successful and goes there. And what is there? The enemy territory. Where is the enemy territory? Right here in the raga dveshas, which have to be vanquished by bhakti. That is what it is. So what does he do after going there? He lights the whole place on fire. First finds Sita safe in a garden somewhere. She is unassailable because Shanti cannot really be kidnapped. Shanti belongs to the one who deserves it. It can never be for the one who is who is not worthy of it. So she is in the garden of no shoka, Ashokavana. The garden of happiness is where Shanti, Sita belongs, and she is sitting there. And then what else? And then the Ravana sets fire to Sri Lanka, meaning there is no place for all these ragadveshas. The place where the Atma Ajnanam is Sri Lanka, and the Atma Ajnanam is the place which harbors the asuras of ragadveshas, and all of them are killed. Only one is left, the biggest and the saved for the last, the biggest and the best asura, or the biggest and the worst asura. Who is that? Ravana. What is Ravana? Ahankara. So first Rama keeps shooting him in the head. And then what happens? Nothing happens. The head goes up and comes back and reattaches itself. And then Vibhishana, the brother of Ravana, tells him, not there, strike his heart. Why the heart? Because what is the arrow? The arrow is, and the bow and the arrow is Atma Vidya. Atma Vidya being taught to this confused, terrible jiva who has gone on the wrong way now. And Rama becomes the teacher, and the arrow is the vritti. And that vritti goes straight into the heart, because the head, it is not logic. The vritti cannot enter the head. The vritti has to pierce the heart, full of all kinds of wrong notions about oneself, about the world, about Ishvara. And so the vritti in the form of Rama's arrow. And what is the arrow? Tattvamasi arrow. Pierces the heart. The bow is the Upanishad. And the arrow is the Mahavakya Tattvamasi. It pierces the heart, and Ravana gets moksha. When this is something people don't like, they say, why all these baddies have to get moksha? Here I have been studying Brahma Vidya for 20 years. 20 साल से, we are from 20 years we पिस रहे हैं. We are, being completely pounded, and we are keeping on, we are even trying to go beyond the basics, and here we are trying to understand this. And this Rakshasa, without doing anything, gets moksha, just being killed by the Lord. What is that other one, the Prahlad, what is that, Hiranyakashipu gets moksha, Ravana gets moksha, and here I am not doing any wrong thing, and I am trying to be more, less and less asuric in my life, and how come I am not getting moksha? To this we have to say, don't take these stories too seriously, okay? They are stories. Point number 1. Point number 2, we have to say, those asuras are all ourselves. If those asuras are getting moksha, you are also getting moksha. Don't worry. Because those asuras are not outside of us. Kama, Krodha, all these heads of this fellow. That's why he doesn't know where he is headed. Okay? He has so many heads, he is confused. That is ourselves alone. That is our own ragas, our own dveshas, our own problems. And that is what we have, that is what is vanquished. And when that is taken away by bhakti and jnanam, the bhakti and seva, karma yoga and bhakti gives an opening where one can pursue this knowledge. And then when one pursues this knowledge, the tattvamasi touches the heart. It pierces the heart. There is no more, what about me? What about you? No. All there is this one glorious being, Rama. I am Rama. I am one with Rama. Om Tat Sat. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Any questions? Yes.
So is Adhyatma Ramayana how powerful or is it?
No, I told you, either Veda Vyasa, it's attributed to Veda Vyasa. Some people attribute it to one saint called Swami Ramananda in the 13th, 14th century, medieval saint. We don't know, it doesn't matter, it's just delightful, that's all we know. Yes.
So all this that is kama, krodha and everything. So what is the way to remove that? It's just a japa or something else?
This is, a combination of karma yoga. Karma yoga means living for more than oneself. Living in the world of service, sacrifice, keeping Ishvara in view. So giving up doership, bringing Ishvara as the doer, and then accepting what comes as prasada, even though it's difficult to accept. That's how the kama and krodha go. Acceptance should be there. But what if I cannot accept? Can you accept your non-acceptance? Yes? No? Yeah. If you say yes, okay, nothing more to be said. If you say no, then I'll ask another question. Can you accept the non-acceptance of your non-acceptance? Then you have to say yes at some point. Otherwise, we'll be here till tomorrow. Anything else? Yeah.
You mentioned Rama Gita.
Yeah.
Does it come?
That's part of this Adhyatma Ramayana. Yes.
Beautifully explained.
Yes, it is all.
Beautifully.
It is a very beautiful text, worthy of looking into.